In this video, I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've added to the digitization area. So to get there, we're going to go, and this is Grid Designer Cloud. This change is not in Grid Designer Legacy. Okay, so let's go to Project, Create from Image, and I'm going to pick up an image that's going to demo this feature well. I want my cat here. Okay, and I'm going to put some rug yarn palette in here. We'll go with that. And so that comes up, pretty nicely. But the problem here is, of course, that it's using 40 colors, and a lot of these colors are not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of, usage in any one of those. So if you go and buy all of that, you're really wasting a lot of money on those. So what I'm going to show you is that down in here, underneath digitization type, we have a new thing here that's called remove colors that are, and this is either least distinct or least used. Now, least used was the original setting, and the default now will be least distinct. So when you go in here, it's going to be least distinct. So you may notice some differences. If you've done a lot of digitization before, you may notice that it behaves a little bit differently. If you want the old behavior, you can always go in here and set this to least used. And this is basically the setting, although there's nothing here that shows you that in Legacy. So in Grid Designer Legacy, it's using that. Okay, so I'm going to use that first because I want to show you what the problem is that I'm fixing. So we have our cat here, and now let's go down and try and start reducing colors. So we'll go from 40 to 25. That still looks pretty good. And then we'll go to 20. And then we'll go to 15. Okay, and at this point, you can tell that we've lost some of the pink in the tongue here, right? So if when we were up at 20, we have our pink in there, but when we go down to 15, then we're losing our color here. We're losing that tongue color. Okay, so let's go back down to digitization type, and let's change this from least used to least distinct. Okay, so this one is going to remove colors as a reducing number of colors. It's going to remove colors that are least distinct to the picture. So the ones that are closest to each other, those are going to be removed. Whereas before, when it was set to least used, it was removing colors that were used less. And in that case, small areas of color like this are getting removed from the picture. So you want this to be set to least distinct, which is the new default. And then we can keep going down a little bit. Let's try 13. So we're still holding on to our eye color and our pink tongue color. Okay, so now we've got that down to there. And I think we can go down to about 9 with this and 8. Okay, and then we start losing the tongue color there. Okay. Now, if you're on Legacy and you have the older setting, or you want to play around with this, you can get this down lower by locking some of the colors for the tongue and the eye color and using the other setting. So I'm going to set this back over to least used. I'm going to go up here. So this is now the old setting. So this would apply to, what I'm going to do now is going to apply to, reducing colors in Legacy Grid Designer, or if you want to use least used. Let's first of all just get rid of this so we can see what colors we had. Okay, so there's lots of colors in the 40 here. And now I spent quite a bit of time yesterday playing with this, and I happen to know that if I lock the dark pink and the spring green in here for those colors, and I use the least used setting, then I can get this down quite a bit lower. So I've got my spring green and dark pink, and now I can go down to 9. I can go down to 8. And so I can go down, if I use the locking of these colors in here, I can get down lower than the other setting. Although the other setting is very useful if you don't want to have to, make specific settings and things on things. Okay, so I can get it down to about 6 colors. If I go down to 5, I lose the tan in here and I end up with, the pink, the green that I've locked, and the white, black, and the gray. So this gets a little mushed out over here once you get down to 5. But anyway, so there's lots of different ways to do this. So you can use the least distinct, and that should um, not you should not lose those small sections of bright colors from your picture as you reduce the colors. Or you can switch over to least used and maybe just lock in some of the colors that you want to keep in the picture and then keep reducing the colors that way. Now I also added, there are 3 things you can do in here. You can turn a color off by clicking on it. You can substitute another color for that color when that one is found, or you can lock colors in place. And all 3 of those things can be turned off now with this reset button. This is not in Legacy, but it is in the cloud version. So if I click reset, it turns off the locks, and now I've got 5 colors, and since I've got least used on, then it's removing most of the green and the pink. Okay, so anyway, I hope that is helpful to everyone. I think that this feature is going to be really helpful for people who are trying to digitize pictures of pets or people or anything where there's like a small section of some other color that stands out in the picture and you want to retain that color as you reduce the number of colors in the picture. This feature would be good for that. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a great day. Um, Thanks for watching. Bye bye.